Hello, everybody. So today we are going to discuss about Venn diagrams, which is an application of the concepts of your set theory. And in Venn diagrams, we are actually going to use the data and represent it in a diagrammatical format, which makes it much easier to understand, much easier to solve. So in today's session, we are going to discuss some methods how to interpret the data via a diagram, via Venn diagram, basically. We'll be discussing some questions and some concepts related to parameters, and we will see how we can solve those questions without the use of any equations, making it much simpler to solve. I hope this session will be insightful for you all, and you will be able to crack questions with much more ease. So let's begin with the session today. So what is basically a Venn diagram? So let's take an example that we have about 100 people in a room, and out of which I ask those people if they drink tea or if they drink coffee, and I get different answers from each of them. If I want to try to interpret this information in the form of a diagram so that it is easily understandable for me, I can do it with the help of a Venn diagram like this. So how I am going to do this? So let's say out of these 100 people, there are 60 people who drink tea, and there are 50 who say they drink coffee. And there are 10 people who drink neither tea nor coffee. Okay. So if I just simply look at the numbers, 60 drink tea, 50 drink coffee, 10 people don't drink tea or coffee. So the number comes out, the total comes out to be 120, whereas I have only 100 people in the room. So this signifies that there's going to be some overlap between the people who drink tea and who drink coffee. There would be some category of people who drink both the drinks, both tea and coffee. So I'm going to represent it with the help of a Venn diagram in this format. So I have two parameters. One is tea, the other one is coffee. I am going to make two circles over here, one for tea and one for coffee. Now, if I say 60 people drink tea, I am going to put this value on top of the circle. So this shows 60 is the value enclosed in this entire circle. When I say coffee is equal to 50, 50 people drink coffee, this is the value of this entire circle. That means this is the sum of these two regions. Then it says 10 people drink neither tea nor coffee. So it is not in tea circle, not in the circle of coffee. It is outside of these two circles. So this region signifies outside of these two circles. So I'm going to write that 10 is equal to none. And there are 20 people who drink both tea and coffee. So this 20 is going to be represented in the region that is overlapping between the two circles. So I put 20 over here. Now, since I know that the entire value of the circle is 60, out of which I have two regions, one is 20. So I can easily say that the second value is going to be 40. Now, what does this 40 signify? These 40 people drink only tea. These 40 people drink only tea. There's a difference between drink tea and drink only tea. Drink tea people will include those who drink only tea and also those who drink both tea and coffee. Similarly, coffee is 50, which I know is the sum of these two regions. So if this is 20, this is going to be 30, which signifies people who drink only coffee. So when I say only coffee, I'm going to look at the area which is not overlapping with any other circle. Whereas when I say coffee, I'm going to look at the value of the entire circle. So these statements are going to uh, help you understand how to put the data into the Venn diagrams. And when you put the data correctly in the Venn diagrams, you will be able to solve the questions easily. Now we are going to look at some different types of Venn diagrams and two parameters. One we have already seen, in which we have two parameters and some area is being overlapped between the two parameters. So we call this to be partially exclusive. We say A and B are partially exclusive. That is, they have some common part and they have some uncommon part between them. Now, if we have this case, we have four regions over here, A, B, C, and D. The sum of all these four regions is equal to the total. So the total is sum of all the 4 regions. We can have a different scenario in which A and B are disjoint. That means there is nothing common between A and B. So an example of A and B can be, we can say, a set like male and female. This is a disjoint set. A set like, you can say, married and unmarried. It's a disjoint set. There is nothing common between them. So I can represent it in this form. Over here, I am missing out on one region, which is the common region. I have basically just 3 regions, A, B, and D over here. And the total comes out to be the sum of A, B, and D. Another variety of Venn diagram in 2 parameters can be when you have A is equal to B. So let's say that all the people who can write can also read, and vice versa. So people who can write is equal to people who can read, and people who can read is equal to people who can write. So you can represent both the people with the help of a single circle, and we can say A is equal to B. So we have only 2 regions over here, A and D. The last scenario which we can have in Venn diagrams is when B is inside A, or when you can say B is a subset of A. B is a subset of A. So when we have this scenario, we can represent B entirely inside A, and we again have only 3 regions, A, B, and D. Now what can be an example of this? Let's say A is the category of animals, and B represents the cat family. So B is entirely enclosed in the set of A. B is a subset of A. B is a cat family, is a subset of the animals category. So we can represent it in this manner. Now, you would have seen in set theory the concept of union or intersection. When you have a word problem, you would not be coming across words like union or intersection. You would be coming across words like or and. So or is nothing but union, and is nothing but intersection. So what is union or or? Or represents the common part and the uncommon part. So if you have 2 sets which you have to compare, first write down the regions for both the sets, find out the common part first, write the common part, and then the uncommon part. So for example, for A or B means, for A I have regions A comma C, for B I have regions B comma C. So the common part over here is C. I'll write C first, then I'll write the uncommon part, that is A and B. So the value enclosed for A or B becomes C plus A plus B. And which is also known as intersection, represents only the common part between the 2 sets. So A and B represents C over here. Now I'm going to take you through some statements which you might come across in the question, and we are going to identify the region which can be defined by those statements. Okay, so the first statement is belongs to A. When I say belongs to A, I am talking about the circle. This is the entire circle that belongs to A. So belongs to A will be this entire circle, and the regions enclosed are going to be A plus C. Let's look at the next statement. The next statement says only A. So as I told you in the first example of tea and coffee, the difference between only A and A is that A includes both the common and the uncommon part, whereas when I say only A, I'm excluding the part that is common with any other set. So when I say only A, we are going to look for the region which lies only in the A. It does not overlap with any other region. So we can say that this region belongs to only A. So I can write this to be small a. Next statement is belongs to A but not B. Now, how can you easily represent it with the help of a diagram? So belongs to A is this entire region. Belongs to A is this entire region. But I want to exclude the part that belongs to B. I want to exclude it. So if I want to exclude it, I'm going to remove this part. This part belongs to B. So I'm going to remove this part. What am I left with? I am left with A. So you can say this statement also represents only A. You can write either only A or you can write belongs to A but not B. Both of them represent the same thing. Okay. Now before I discuss this statement, so we have two parameters over here. Any person, if I have to map the person over here, any person can either belong to zero of the two parameters, that is none. It does not belong to A, it does not belong to B. So I can say zero of the two parameters, or any person can belong to just one parameter. It can belong only to A or only to B, or the person can belong to two parameters, both A and B. So this 0 represents none. The 0 represents none region. This 1 represents exactly one set. This represents exactly one set. And this represents exactly two sets. So if we just identify the regions over here, none is D, exactly one set, or you can look at this statement over here now, belongs to exactly one set, is going to be only A plus only B. This is as good as only A plus only B, or I can write it as A plus B. And when I say exactly two sets, it is going to be the region C. The next statement says belongs to at least one set. So whenever you have statements like at least, at most, I'll always advise you to write it in this form first. We know for two parameters, a person can belong to 0 or 1 or 2 regions. Now the statement is belongs to at least one set. So minimum one set. Minimum value is 1. Minimum is 1. So I can have 1 or more than 1. So basically we are talking about these two regions. I know which region falls into which category. So 1 and 2, that means A plus B plus C, or I can also write it as total minus D, since my total is sum of all the four regions. Now let us look at this set, this statement rather. Do not belong to A or do not belong to B. Now, we cannot identify the region directly like we have been doing in the past statements. So let us write down the regions specific to these two. And you can see there's an or operator in between, or there's a union operator in between. So we can say do not belong to A is going to be, I'm going to leave out A. If I leave out A, what am I left with? So I'm going to first leave out A. I'll leave it out. I am left with B and D. I'll write it over here. Do not belong to A is B comma D. Similarly, if I say do not belong to B, it is going to be A comma D. Now there's an or operator in between. So that means first write the common part, which is D, then write the uncommon part, which is A plus B. So the value of this statement is D plus A plus B, or I can write it as total minus C. So these are some of the statements which you will come across in your questions. And if you can identify the regions pertaining to each of these statements, it is going to make your question much easier to solve. So I'm going to discuss two questions now, which will be application of these statements, these concepts which we have discussed, and it will help in more clarity of your concepts. So the question says, in a society, 72 people own only a car. So when I say own only a car, which region am I referring to? I'm going to refer this as A. So small a is equal to 72. 50% of the people own a bike, 25% own both a car and a bike, 5% neither own a car nor the bicycle. Now, as you can see in this question, other than one single value, we have all the values in terms of percentages. So if we have all the values in terms of percentages, we can assume the total to be equal to 100%. And if we can identify 72 is equal to what percentage, we can find the actual value of the total. So for time being, let us assume the total to be 100%. If this is 100%, 50% of the people own a bike. So this 50 represents bike is equal to 50%. 25% own both a car and a bike. So C is equal to 25%. 5% neither own a car nor a bicycle. So this is equal to 5%. Now since this entire value is 50, this is going to be 25. Also, since this entire value is 50, this value is 5. So that means small a is equal to 45%. So we can say that 45% of total is equal to 72. See, we have put in all the values directly in the Venn diagram. We have not written a single equation. Why are we not writing any equation? First of all, if we put data into the Venn diagram, of course, it becomes easier to understand, easier to solve. Also, with the when we increase the number of parameters, the complexity increases, and if you start writing equation for each and every variable, it is going to give you a bulk of equations which will be very difficult to solve. So the more you focus on the diagrammatical representation, the more you look at the data presented in the Venn diagram and solve it, easier it is going to be for you. So now, what is going to be the total? 45% of total is 72. So I can say my total is equal to 72 into 100 by 45. Or I can write this to be, this becomes 8 and this becomes 20. So this becomes 160. So I can say my total number of people is 160. Now, do I need to find out the value of A, B, C, D, each of these values? No. Let us first look at the questions, decide what is the total percentage value that we have to find out, and then find the answer to that question. So let's look at the first question. How many people live in the society? So the answer becomes 160. We have already found the value of total. How many people own only car or only bike? Which regions am I referring to over here? I am referring to A plus B. Only car is A, only bike is B. So I'm referring to 45 plus 25, that is 70%. What is 70% of 160? It is going to be 112. Now, how many people own neither a car nor a bike? We are referring to small d, which is 5%. 5% of 160 is going to be 8. How many people own only bike? Only bike is 25%. 25% of 160 is going to be 40. And how many people own at least one of the two? One of the two. So simple representation like this: at least one of the two. Okay, at least one, at least one. So one or more than one, one or more than one. So I'm referring to this. Now, instead of adding these two, I already know this is 5%, which is equal to 8. I can simply write this as 160 minus 8, which is 152. So you can see we have not written any equations. We have simplified it by just putting in the values in the Venn diagram. Let us take a look at the next question. So we have a businessman who has started a shop to sell water packets and buttermilk packets. On the first day, he observed the following: the number of people who bought neither water nor buttermilk and the number of persons who bought water are in the ratio 1:3. So let me represent this information in the form of a Venn diagram, and then we'll come back to the questions. The number of people who bought neither water nor buttermilk. This is which region? This region is D, neither water nor buttermilk. And the number of persons who bought water, just see, it is bought water and not water only. So we are referring to W. This is capital W. So I can say small d is to capital W is equal to 1:3. I am representing this information in the form of the variables over here. Okay. Since you can see there are many ratios, so first let us write down all the ratios, then we will see what values we are going to put over here. The number of persons who bought both and the number of persons who bought neither are in the ratio 5 is to 2. So both means C, neither means D. This ratio is 5 is to 2. Only half of the persons who bought buttermilk also bought water. So only half of the persons who bought buttermilk. So buttermilk is this. Half of this also bought water. So that means if B, this capital B was 2x, then C would have been x and B would have been x again. Only half of the persons who bought buttermilk. So if buttermilk was 2x, half of those who bought buttermilk, so half of 2x is going to be x, also bought water. So half of those persons, that is x, they have buttermilk, they also bought water, so they would be lying in the region of C. Now, so can I say that C is to B is equal to 1 is to 1? Since this entire value has been divided into two parts equally, C and B, so I can say C is to B is 1 is to 1. Now, how should we solve this? We also have 25 persons bought only water. So this is 25. So you can see over here, look at the ratios over here. You have a common ratio here, D. Okay? This D, it represents 1 unit over here, it represents 2 unit over here. So if I take small d to be 2x, if this is 2x, this is going to be x, w is going to be 3x, or rather let us do one thing. Let us represent, so if I can see that d is 2 over here, d is 1 over here. So can I write this ratio to be 2 is to 6? Now if I represent a small d as 2x, small d as 2x, small c is going to be 5x, capital W is equal to 6x, small b will be 5x, capital B is equal to 10x. So I've got all the values in form of x. What have I done? I have just done this, that this d represented 1 unit, d was 2 unit over here. So I've just multiplied this into 2 so that I can assign a single value to d. So once I fix the value of d, I can write the rest of the values. So d becomes 2x. I have multiplied this ratio with 2. So w becomes 6, c is 5, and c is to b is 1 is to 1. So b is also 5x. Now since this is 6x, this is 5x, so a will be equal to x, or I can say that x is equal to 25. Can I find the total now? The total is going to be, this entire value is 6 plus 5, 11, 11 plus 2, 13. So the total comes out to be 13x, or I can say 13 into 25, which is nothing but 325. So the total is 325. Now let us look back at the questions. What is the total number of persons visiting the shop on the first day? So I am referring to the total, which is 325. What is the number of persons who bought either water or buttermilk? Either water or buttermilk. Okay. So this will include everything, or this is going to include A plus B plus C, or I can say this will include total minus D. So my D was 2x, my total was 13x. So can I say this is equal to 11x? Or I can say 11 into 25, which is nothing but 275. What is the number of persons who did not buy buttermilk? So this is 10x is the person who bought buttermilk. So how many will not have bought buttermilk? 13x minus 10x, that is 3x. I already know x. So this is equal to 3x. X is 25. So the value comes out to be 75. So this is how you can solve the questions without writing any equation, without any complications, by simply representing the values in the form of a Venn diagram. I hope this session has been insightful for you all, and there will be some questions that will follow which you can solve for your practice and check your understanding of the concepts discussed. Thank you, everybody.